What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel again, and welcome to another tactical replication video. It's been a while since we've done one, the last one being Xavi Alonso's Leverkusen. This time it's Simone Inzaghi's Inter. And before I dive straight to the tactics, all that sort of stuff, heartfelt thanks to everybody who subscribed to the channel, who watched the videos, and my analytics they show that 81% of the viewers that watch the channel aren't subscribed to the channel. So it's a humble request, please subscribe to the channel. It's a new channel, it's only 3 months old, and it would mean the world to me. So that being out of the way, let's dive straight in to Simone Inzaghi's Inter. Let's go to the team management section and let's look at the tactics. The tactical preset, of course, is custom because it lets you do everything. Alright, as I always say on my formation breakdowns video. And the formation, I have picked the 5-2-3, the 5-3-2 holding. Why? Because Inter, without the ball, they actually resemble a 5-3-2 holding, with Hakan playing as a deep line playmaker. There is a context here, alright? The actual formation that Simone Inzaghi deploys, it's a 3-1-4-2, alright? But that's with the ball. Without the ball, if you have looked at Inter's matches in real life, they drop back, or the wing backs, they drop back to form a back five, alright? So you have to keep the formation as a 5-3-2 holding, alright, because as it's without the ball. If it was if you pick the 3-1-4-2, it's fine, but I have tried the 3-1-4-2 with Inter in FC25. That doesn't translate that well actually in the game. And Simone Inzaghi's Inter, let me tell you guys one thing here, disclaimer. The tactics and the football that they play, it's actually very tough to replicate in FC25. All right, it's actually very tough because they are very unpredictable actually, because you don't know who is playing center back. Sometimes you see Nico Barella, Hakan, and Mkhitaryan playing as the three center backs, with Bastonia, Serbi, and Bisek playing as the midfielders. Interchangeability, all that stuff. They sometimes overload one side of the pitch, leaving the other side empty for Bastoni to run up the pitch on the half spaces. DiMarco tucking in, all that stuff. So it's actually pretty tough to replicate. All right, but as I said, I'll try my best. I thought that the Marcelo Bielsa murder ball replication was tough, but Simone Inzaghi's Inter is even more tougher than the murder ball, because, as I said, the factors that the interchangeability, you can't actually do that in a video game. That interchangeability, all right, you can't expect Bastoni, Acerbi, or Bisek or Pavard to interchange with Barilla, Hakan, and Mkhitaryan in a video game. You can't expect that. It only happens in real life, all right? So that's a context or disclaimer for you right there. So the formation picked a 5-3-2 holding, all right? And the 3-1-4-2, it doesn't translate that well in the game. I tried it, it didn't work. And I have been wanting to make the Inter tactical replication video under Simone Inzaghi for a while now, but I couldn't actually figure out that those factors that I mentioned, that the interchangeability, all that stuff. All right, I tried a lot of things, but some things worked, some things didn't work. All right, so it took me a while, and this tactical replications video, all right, Many of you actually comment on my formations breakdown video to do certain tactics or tactical replications for certain matches. Like, for example, somebody mentioned a European Cup Winners' Cup match that Rangers won, uh, all that sort of stuff. But these replication video, they require a lot of research, actually. They require a lot of research, they require a lot of attention, they require a lot of highlights watching. All right. So that's that. And as I said, I have been meaning or wanting to do the Inter one, but it's actually very tough to replicate in a video game like FC25. But I'll try my best. So the formation, pick the 5-3-2 holding. All right. You will see in a while that why, as I said, the 3-1-4-2, it doesn't actually translate that well in the game, but the 5-3-2 holding actually does. I will show you in a while why it actually does. The build up style, man, this one is actually, as I said, Inter are very unpredictable under Simone Inzaghi. Sometimes they play with short passes, sometimes they play on the counter, sometimes they play both. They don't have an actual build up style. But as it's a 5 at the back formation, it's better you keep the build up style to counter. Why? Because, as I said, certain formations are tailor fitted to certain build up styles. And as it's an Italian club, and Inter being the kings of the counter attack, with Jose Mourinho, under Giovanni Trapattoni, everybody. They're the kings of the 3-5-2, they're the kings of the counter attack, and they're the kings of the low block. All right, historically speaking. So that's that. The build up style, set it to counter, it's fine. And the defensive approach or the high line, you can keep it to an absolute low block, all right, like 25. But yeah, you have fast defenders at the back. You can go for balanced, it's fine. All right. In this case, let's keep it to balanced. All right. As I said, it's a very hard replication in a video game like this. All right. I'm mentioning this time and time again. You will see in a while why it's pretty tough. So the formation 5-3-2 holding, build up style, keep it to counter. Defensive approach, keep it to balanced. All right. It's fine. And now for the player roles, the most important part of any formation or replication video. Marcus Thuram, first things first. Advance forward, focus of attack. It's fine. He's just that. Why? Because of his physicality, because of his hold up play, and of his link up play with either Mkhitaryan or Dumfries. Especially with Dumfries, actually. And as for Lautaro Martinez, he plays a bit deeper or a bit back than Marcus Thuram. All right. You can play him as a false nine. He has a false nine plus plus with a focus on build up. But the false nine, I tried that. It doesn't actually work. He drops too deep into the midfield, which doesn't allow you to have an out ball. All right. So keep him as an advance forward with Marcus Thuram. All right. If you play him as a false nine, he'll drop very deep in the midfield. You don't want that because you're always playing on the counter. And when you're playing on the counter with a balanced or with a low block, you need an out ball. And as Lautaro has a lot of pace, and so does Marcus Thuram, these two guys are your out balls, along with these two, Denzel Dumfries and DiMarco. All right. So keep both of them as an advanced forward with a focus of attack. It's fine. All right. Now then, Nico Varela, of course, box to box unbalanced. He's a box to box midfielder. Goes up and down the pitch, relentless, runs a lot, all that good stuff. It's fine. Traditionally, he plays on the left hand side, so that's fine. And for Mkhitaryan, uh, he's actually a playmaker. All right, Henrik Mkhitaryan, he's actually a playmaker in Simone Inzaghi's formation, but he does drop back to help with the defense. All right, so keep him as a playmaker. And another context here, if for as Mkhitaryan is old, he's 36 years old, I think. As Mkhitaryan is old, you can actually play David Fratesi. All right, and if you play David Fratesi, play him as a box to box, not playmaker. All right. If you want to play Mkhitaryan, play him as a playmaker with attack focus. If you want to play David Fratesi, play him as a box to box, along with Nico Barella. All right. And as for Hakan Çalhanoğlu's case, he's a deep line playmaker. All right. With a focus on defend. You can keep him on a focus on build up, but it will leave gaps in the midfield. You don't want that actually. You can do that if you play David Fratesi as a box to box. You can do that. But if you are playing Mkhitaryan, then it's better to keep Hakan as a deep line playmaker with a defend focus. All right. Now then, the two wing backs. DeMarco's case, it's showing attacking wing back, but it's better you keep him just as a wing back with a focus on balanced. Why? Because if you get him on attacking wing back, he has a plus plus. But if you see his area there, his defensive area is very lower than the attacking area. But if you see his wing back area, you will see that his both his offensive and defensive areas are balanced. That's what a wing back actually is. All right. So that's that. And Denzel Dumfries, same thing. Wing back with a focus on balanced. All right. But I will highly recommend that you keep your wing backs with a focus of support if you have the support focus available. All right. But it's better as it's Simone Inzaghi's Inter, they stay out wide. So keep them as a wing back with a balanced focus, both sides, Dumfries and DeMarco. All right. Now then, let's get Jan Sommer's one out first. He's a traditional shot stopper. Keep him as a goalkeeper with a balanced focus. Why? You might ask, why not the defense focus? It's a modern game. That's why. If you see that balanced focus is description there, with a balanced focus, the goalkeeper will occasionally leave their area to collect long or loose balls. That's what Jan Sommer actually does. He's a traditional short stopper, but he picks up loose balls. All right. So that's that. And now the most tricky part of Simone Inzaghi's Inter in terms of player roles. You have Francesco Acerbi or Stefan de Vrij as the middle center back. You also have Bisek. All right. First things first, let's get this thing straight out of the way. These three guys, their roles are not defenders. They all are ball playing defenders. All right. And as I said, the interchangeability when Bastonia, Serbi, and Pavard are going up top, and Nico Varela, Hakan, and Mkhitaryan are playing as the three center backs, those kinds of things. These three roles are actually the most tricky one to replicate. All right. Starting up with Bastoni there, he's the when Jan Sommer gets the ball, he straight up looks for Bastoni, and Bastoni runs up into the half spaces. All right. If you saw Inter's game against Barca in the UCL semi-final second leg at the San Siro, Bastoni was doing just that. He was running into the half spaces with DiMarco in support, behind him, not ahead of him. All right. And so the focus, of course, should be build up. All right. Same with the other side. It's Pavard. He's a ball playing defender. He's a right back by trade, so he has that ball playing defender skill. And in Pavard's case, it's actually the same thing. All right. He goes up to the half spaces, and that's that. And then Mkhitaryan drops into Pavard's space. You can't actually replicate that in a video game. That interchangeability. When the three center backs are pushing up high into the midfield, and the three midfielders come back and play as a center back, you can't actually replicate those. All right. But as for the player roles, these are the things that matter. SRB, same case. Or Stefan De Vrij, whoever on a pick, same case. All right. So that's fine. If you're playing Bisek, Jan Bisek, he's 6'5". So he started in the Barca game, both legs, to mark Rafinha, and Bastoni and DiMarco were marking Lamine. So yeah, that's that. If you play Bisek, play him on the right hand side, and if you don't want to play Bisek, play Pavard on the right hand side. You can also play Darmian on the right hand side, Matteo Darmian. All right, he is also a right back by trade, but he can do a job at center back. I have seen him starting games as a right-handed center back under Simone Inzaghi. So that's that. So these three are the most tricky player roles actually. All right, you don't know who is gonna end up where in a real life Inter game. Sometimes what they do is they overload one side of the pitch, ping the ball to the other side of the pitch where Bastoni is unmarked. All right, with DiMarco in support, tucking in. Or when they overload the left hand side of the pitch, then Pavard and Dumfries is free on the other side of the pitch. You have one long ball and the opposition is suddenly panicking. But that happens when they are playing in the league most of the time. All right. But when they are playing a technically sound team like Barcelona, all right, then they go the old school route. And by old school route, I'm meaning just put a freaking defensive bunker, put a double marker on a guy like Lamine. Jose Mourinho did just that with Messi. He put a double marker with Javier Zanetti and Esteban Cambiaso on Messi. All right, put on a defensive bunker and pounce on the counter. Jose Mourinho did that, and Simone Inzaghi also did that with Barca. All right, but when they are playing in the league, Inter, Syria, they try and overload one side of the pitch and they switch up the play to the other side of the pitch when the opposition tries to press them. All right. So these are the player roles. And now then, it's a 5-3-2 holding. All right. I set up the player roles correctly. That's without the ball. If you look at it with the ball, it's a 3-1-4-2. That's with the ball. So if you are playing a 3-1-4-2, use common sense here, guys. If you are playing with a 3-1-4-2, it won't, without the ball, if you are playing a 3-1-4-2, it won't resemble a 5-3-2. But if you are playing a 5-3-2 and if you get the player roles correct, it will actually show you a 3-1-4-2 with the ball. All right. After a lot of tinkering with the tactical presets, all that sort of stuff, I found this out. That if you want to replicate Simone Inzaghi's Inter, you have to play the 5-3-2 holding. Because with the ball, it actually resembles a 3-1-4-2. All right, as you can see on the screen. So that's that. And as I said, if you don't want to play Mkhitaryan, if you want to play David Fratesi, as Mkhitaryan is very old, he's 36 years old by the way, then put Fratesi as a box to box. All right. So as I always do in these kinds of videos, let's go to a game actually. Here you can see Fratesi here. He's young, he's 25 years old, and he has pretty balanced stats, not gonna lie. If you see his shooting, pace, passing, dribbling, defending, physical stats, it's actually pretty good. And sometimes, if you need some defensive reinforcement, you also have Carlos Augusto. He's 26, he's Brazilian. And DiMarco, sometimes when he gets tired, because he's a wingback, he has to run a lot, then Simone Inzaghi deploys Carlos Augusto. He did that with against Bayern Munich. And he also put, when he subs off DiMarco and Mkhitaryan, he always brings on Fratesi and Carlos Augusto. He did that against Bayern Munich, and he also did that against Barcelona. All right. There you also have Darmian. You also have Zielinski. You can play him as well for Mkhitaryan, but I would highly recommend, if you don't want to play Mkhitaryan, play Fratesi. All right. And as Pavard is currently not in the squad for injuries, I think let's start Bisek. Why not? Yeah, he's 6'5", so that's that. You also have Darmian as well. You can start him. He has a good defending and physical stat. You can see that he also has a decent passing stat and has a decent pace. So you can do that as well. But let's start Bisek. And you also have Stefan de Vrij. All right. Then you also have young guns like Zeluski. I think he is the number 7 currently of Inter. So yeah, sometimes Simone Inzaghi would also play him as well when if somebody gets tired. I think when he subbed him on for I think either yeah, Hakan. Yeah, he subbed him on for Hakan Çalhanoğlu in the Barca game, the second leg. So yeah, enough talking. Okay, so you're facing I picked AC Milan, it's a Derby della Madonnina, so it's at the Giuseppe Meazza, but the San Siro is not in FC25, so that's that. So let's start the game. See. By the way, I'm playing on the Anthony James's gameplay mode, as you all know. That ain't no San Siro, man. And of course, FIFA. I'm also running eSIM, but I'm not using his cameras. I'm using only his color grading and TARF. So that's that. It looks like the San Siro, but it's not. So yeah, well, we kick the game off. As Lotaro, that's a nice looking ball, not gonna lie. Here's Thuram, have a shot my man. Mike Mignan saves. Yeah, Hakan on the corner. Somebody. Okay. So that's Mkhitaryan. Pass it to DiMarco. Rotate the ball a bit. Find space. That sort of stuff. And DiMarco going all on his own. Pull this back, my man. There's B-Sec of all people. So, yeah, gets burst off the ball by Pulisic. Yeah, win the header. Thank you. There's Nico Barella. Pass didn't go through, but as you can see that SRB, Bastoni and Bisek, they are going up very high and they're switching places. It happens actually. And Rafael Leao, he is a tricky customer. There's a nice ball out for a corner. Win or lose the first half doesn't actually matter. So here's a Mkhitaryan. Nice interception. He's slow, by the way, so that's a very bad pass, but we still have the ball. We got tackled by Reinders. He's a good midfielder. Tiani Reinders. Fofana there. Nice tackle by Bisek. Okay, how is that a foul? I thought that was a clean tackle. That's Theo Hernandez on the corner. Think they're crossing it in. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, is that a penalty? That's a penalty. That's unfortunate. I think that's a Pulisic. Yep. Yeah, Jan Sommer saves. He tried the Panenka, didn't work. So that's that. That's a very inter-styled defending like there. As I said, the defensive bunker. That's the defensive bunker I was talking about. Conman win the header. Okay, we didn't. And Luka Jovic of all people scores. So yeah. Okay, there's a Hakan. There's a very nice ball. Marcus, come on, have a shot. Mike Magnan. Yeah, he's a tough keeper to get past. DiMarco on the corner. Completely missed our header there. Here's a Mkhitaryan. Kahneman. They do have tough defenders at the back. There's a Dumfries. Nice interception, but we couldn't get hold of the ball. They have started Pablo Theo. They're playing a back three. So it's gonna be tough to break them down. There's a nice looking ball. There's Pulisic. Yeah, we put the tackle in but couldn't get hold of the ball. Yeah, there's Bastoni, nice block. Win the header. Jan Sommer saves. Another corner. I think they're taking it short this time. Yeah, there's Fofana, by the way. There's a goal kick. Sometimes what would happen is, as I said, they overloaded one side of the pitch. So there's a B-sec. And what they would do is, and there's Dumfries. They would do this thing. It didn't work the way I wanted to, but they overloaded one side of the pitch and ping the ball to the other side of the pitch. So there's that. Theo Hernandez doesn't have a very good understanding with Dumfries. So there's Bastoni. Yeah, sometimes what they do is they did this thing, which is switching up the player to the other side of the pitch. So there's a survey. There's a nice ball, but Dimarco couldn't get there. There's a survey again. As you can see, that he's pushing up the pitch really high, and yeah, yeah, nice tackle or interception, whatever you wanna call it. There's a nice pass, but Lodero was behind. Yeah, so that's the first half. We lose the first half, but yeah, as you saw right there, it's a very tough tactic to replicate. And if you are not good at defending, you're gonna see a lot of goals actually. I always like to play the first half, but in this case, I'm actually gonna change the high line to absolutely 100. See what happens. All right, because that defensive approach 100, as I said always, it actually triggers a gegenpress. All right, so let's play the full game this time. See what happens, and I'm gonna actually bring on David Fratesi and play him as a box to box. I'm showing both sides of the coin, guys. All right, and I'm also gonna get powered actually, yeah, and uh, Carlos Augusto, yeah, I think that's fine. You guys might think that this guy is playing always shows the first half replay or gameplay, but he's playing the full match because he's losing. But it's not that actually. Just want to show you guys both sides of the coin. As I said, if you want to play David Fratesi, what that might look like. So that's a nice tackle by Hakan. So here's a Fratesi, fresh legs, of course, going past everybody, but got tackled by Theo Hernandez. I'm showing you both sides of the coin. So there's that. Nice tackle. There's Fratesi again. Come on, man, pull this back. Yep. So there's Hakan. As you can see, that SR, that 100 high line is pushing everybody up the pitch. So there's Bastoni, Fratesi again. There's Hakan. Passing options, anybody? Yeah, Sarbi of all people. So he's a defender. That was a nice intended pass. Lodra was making the run. Or Barella maybe. I didn't see. But Milan are also playing on the counter. That's Theo Hernandez. Nice cross. Didn't work, but yeah. There's Pavard. Yeah, that's Barella. That's Carlos Augusto. I think there's a offside. Yeah, that would have been offside. We win the ball back. There's a foul. Yep. I think that was Alex Jimenez. Yeah. Sometimes you could do is you could go to the box like this, put a cutback. Didn't work, but you get my point. So there's Fratesi again. As I said, they play with short passes, all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm showing you every aspect actually of Inter under Inzaghi. So there's a Pavard. There's a Augusto again. Yeah, pass it to Pavard again. Space. So okay, that was a. I didn't intend to pass it to him, but as I said, I am showing you every aspect of Inter's game, and as it's a video game, it's very hard to. This one, I thought that the murder ball video was uh, tough, but this one is actually uh, more tough than the murder ball one. That's Lotaro. Conman get in the box. Cut back. Thuram. Yeah, that's Mike McNunn. So he's a tough goalkeeper to beat. Bastoni. Uh, they're playing a 3-4-3 flat. So yeah, that's Sergio Conceição. And they're also playing on the counter. So yeah, that's Loftus Cheek. Tomori there. I don't know, in Tomori's case, I don't know why he doesn't get picked up by or selected by the English national team. He's a very good defender. The English FA or the English fans always complain about the lack of defenders, but they do have someone playing in Italy. But I think just for the sake that he plays in Italy, not in England, that's why they don't pick him. So there's Dumfries. There's Fratesi moving into space or trying to find space. So there's Barella got tackled. There's Tomori again. So yeah, that's the end of the game. And yep. So that was Simone Inzaghi's Inter. All right. And as I as I usually do, I always show the first half gameplay, but this time I showed the full gameplay or the full game because uh, I wanted to show every aspect of Simone Inzaghi's Inter. As you saw, I subbed on Fratesi, uh, I subbed on Carlos Augusto. We had some decent chances but couldn't pounce. We showed you, or I showed you, the short passing. I showed you the uh, overloaded side where they overload one side and they ping the ball to the other side, that thing, and the interchangeability. It doesn't, the interchangeability thing, it doesn't actually translate that well uh, to a video game. But as you saw, SRB, Bastoni, and Pavard or Bisek, they were going very high up the pitch. All right. And I also showed you that 100 highline thing or the gegenpressing. All right. We're winning the ball back high up the pitch and that sort of stuff. Inter sometimes win the ball back high up the pitch. If you have looked at the first goal that Inter scored against Barca in the San Siro UCL semifinals this season, they actually won the ball back in Barca's half. And perfectly weighted pass to Dumfries, and he sweated it to Lotaro, and Chesney was nowhere to be seen. 1-0 Inter. All right. So I showed you the 100 highline for that reason. All right. Sometimes they do that. They win the ball back either in the opposition's half and pounce on the counter, or they win the ball back into the midfield and they pounce on the counter. So I think I covered every aspect of Simone Inzaghi's Inter. All right. I tried my best. This was actually the most tough tactical replication video that I did so far. All right. This was actually very tough. As I said, the murder wall, I thought that was tough, but this one was actually the toughest one I did. All right. So that's that. If you see the match facts, you can see that we had 5 shots, they had 9. We attempted 63 passes, they had 83. We didn't have that much pass accuracy, but yeah, 50-50 possession, that's fine. And 0-1 scoreline, that's Serie A. So that's that. As I always do, let's recap actually. It's a kickoff, so yeah, you have to come back if you have played the full game and then pick your team. So the tactical preset, it's custom formation. Pick the 5-3-2 holding because with the ball it looks like a 3-1-4-2. So that's that. The build up style, keep it to counter, and the defensive approach you can keep it to either balanced or you can play an absolute low block. It's fine. You can play the low block if you're playing career mode and you're playing in the UCL semi-final, or if you are not good enough at defending, if you know what I mean. All right. You can play the low block if you are not good enough at defending, or if you are playing a very high risk, high voltage match against a very technically astute club like Liverpool, like PSG, like Barca, all those guys. All right. And if you are playing in the Serie A, you can get unbalanced, or you can go for absolute bonkers and go for the aggressive 100. No problems with that one. All right. Simone Inzaghi, he has guided Inter to two Champions League semi-finals, but he isn't talked about enough. All right. But his tactical flexibility is on another level. All right. Or his tactical brain is on another level. He used to play for Lazio. I remember him playing for Lazio, but he got overshadowed by his brother, which is of course Filippo Inzaghi. He is now managing Pisa. As of recording this video, Pisa got promotion back to the Syria. So you will see the two brothers in action in the next season. So the defensive approach, as I was saying, if you are very good at defending, you can get it to high, or you can go absolute bonkers and get the 100 or 95 as it triggers gegenpress. All right, it's fine. The defensive approach, do what suits you best, but in the case of Inter's tactical replication, you can keep it to balanced or you can keep it to a low block, depending on the teams you are facing. All right, so that's that. And now for the player roles. Lautaro Martinez, he doesn't actually work as a false nine. Keep him on an advance forward or as a poacher. Both of them will do. It's fine. But as he's short in height, keep him as an advance forward. It's fine. All right. Or the other side, as he's short in height, you can get him as a poacher with an attack focus. All right. That's also fine. So you have one tall striker, you have a short striker, but they are complementary. Marcus Thuram and Lautaro Martinez, they are uh, they are different types of. They are two different kinds of strikers, but they are complementary to one another. If you know what I mean. So you can play Lautaro as a poacher or as an advance forward. Both of them will do. It's fine. And in Mkhitaryan's case, if you want to play him as a playmaker with an attack focus. And Nico Varela, absolutely play him as a box to box. All right. And Hakan Çalhanoğlu, deep line playmaker with a defense focus or defend focus. Sorry. And DeMarco, by default, it will show you his role as an attacking wingback. You can play that as well, but I would highly suggest that you play him as a wingback with a focus on balanced. Same with Dumfries. All right. And as for the three defenders, keep them on ball playing defender with a focus on build up. All right. And Jan Sommer is a traditional shortstopper, and just change the focus from defend to balanced. It's fine. All right. So that's Simone Inzaghi's Inter without the ball, and with the ball, it looks like a 3-1-4-2, the original formation. So that's Simone Inzaghi's Inter. This is a very tough tactic to replicate. All right. On a game like FC25, it's actually very hard. All right. But I tried my best. Oh, I forgot one thing. If you don't want to play Mkhitaryan, and if you want to play David Fratesi, as I showed you in the second half gameplay footage, then play Fratesi as a box to box. All right. And if you want to play Mkhitaryan, play him as a playmaker. It's fine. All right. So that's Simone Inzaghi's Inter. And another thing I forgot to mention, I have a very short memory, that yeah, if DiMarco is tired, get on Carlos Augusto. All right. And if Hakan is tired, then get Zielinski, the number 7 of Inter. All right. So that's that. And if you don't want to play Pavard, play Bisek, it's fine. Or play Darmian, that's also fine. Or you can do one thing where you can play Bisek as the middle center back, SRB as the right side center back, and Matteo Darmian as a wing back. All right, it's also gonna work. Or you can do another thing. You can play Stefan de Vrij as a middle center back, play Darmian as the right center back, and play Dumfries as the wing back. But the player roles, these are the most important things. All right. With the exception only being that if you want to play David Fratesi, keep him as a box to box, not a playmaker. All right. So that's that. Other than that, the player roles, they're fine. Hakan, deep lying playmaker with a defense focus, so you are not susceptible to brutally fast counterattacks, that sort of stuff. All right. So that's Simone Inzaghi's Inter. This was as I said in the first minute of the first seconds of the video, that it was a while that we made the last tactical replication video, because I wanted to make this video, Simone Inzaghi's Inter, and it took me a lot of time to actually see. I watched highlights, I watched everything, and I tried the 5-3-2, I tried the 3-1-4-2, everything. All right. But as I found out through my research, through watching highlights, through tweaking up everything from who fits what fits what, that sort of stuff in the game, and I found the perfect balance. So that's why it took that much time to put this video out. All right. And that's why there wasn't any tactical replication video until this one, because it's this tactical video or tactical replication video is the toughest one that I made. All right. So that's that. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you use it with Inter. And I'm playing on the Anthony James's gameplay mode, but in the vanilla game, it's gonna work. No problems with that one. All right. And yeah, that's that. So thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And as I said, heartfelt thanks to everybody who subscribed to the channel, who always come back to watch the videos, all that good stuff. Thank you very much. Heartfelt thanks to everybody. And the 81% of you guys that watch the channel but didn't subscribe, it's a humble request. Please subscribe to the channel. It's a new channel, it's 3 months old. So that's that. So that's it from my end today. Keep your friends safe, keep your family safe, keep yourself safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers and goodbye.